Okay, before we go any further, I want to take a minute to talk about the awesome folks at Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way. In fact, it's the way that we make a podcast. Let me explain.
It's free.
There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
And you can make money from your podcast. Best part, no minimum listenership.
Ooh. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
It's so cool. We found the service, we started using it, we're making podcasts.
Yeah, making podcasts, making money, having a good time.
So listen, you want to get you out there, you want to be heard, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Thank you.
Welcome to a bonus episode of Esoterica, the podcast. Today is February 29th. We have an extra day this year. So I thought, just for shits and giggles, let's throw out an extra episode.
Oh, that's shits and giggles. Yeah, extra episode, leap day.
It's all shits and giggles until sewing giggles and shits.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is sort of a free-form episode, back towards, I guess it's kind of in the spirit of our first episode.
Yes, which was a complete free-for-all.
Yeah, well, that was expository musings. This is just hopefully amusing musings. We'll see. You'll be the judge of that. So one of the things that I would like to discuss is, since it's a leap day, I don't care. I'm too lazy to go into the science behind leap days. But apparently at some point, scientists discovered that it took a little more than 365 days to go around the sun. Mm. It actually took 365.25 days. Thereabouts.
Yes.
So for the sake of making things easy, they decided every 4 years to tack an extra day on to February, because February is a short month to begin with.
Right.
To catch up so that we would remain accurate, giving us the leap year. Why February? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you just said short month.
I would like to see the month of Smarch. That's just like 1 day long every 4 years.
It's a whole new month. That would actually be funny as heck.
That would be cool. I mean, I guess it would suck if you had to pay your rent every month if your landlord made you pay Smarch rent.
Oh.
Because it's just for 1 day. And then, like, March is due the next day. I had to think about the months in my head. Although Smarch could be anywhere. It wouldn't have to be between February and March.
Yeah.
But that's not a thing. So anyway, I have a theory, an alternative theory.
Okay.
Rather than just adding a day every 4 years, what if we had a quarter day every year?
Oh, boy.
Midnight to 8 a.m. And then it's the next day, midnight again.
Wow, my computer's loud. That would mess up so much.
Exactly. Which is why I think we should do it. Because it would be chaos for 4 years, and then you'd have one good year, and then it would be chaos again. The sun would be setting at weird times. Like, you'd never know what's up or what's down. If nothing else, life would be interesting, right?
Yeah, it'd be esoteric. Oh, my gosh.
For the record, I quit smoking 3 years ago, so that smoker's cough is the laryngitis.
Or he's lying to us.
I would have a cigarette if I could, but I'm done with that part of my life. I'm not diving back in.
And we're all proud of you.
Thank you. So I can't get anybody to buy into this thought of a quarter day.
Well, I mean, I don't hate the idea of it messing things up, but I also don't want it to mess things up.
Yeah, honestly, if I think about it, it might be exciting at first, but it would go awry very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we get paid the 1st and the 15th of every month. So if Smarch is 1 day long and March is the next month, we get paid 2 days in a row. For what time, I don't know.
So
let's put it this way. That would mean that if we worked for the entire, like, last week or 2 weeks of February, right? And then we got paid on the 1st of Smarch, and then we worked on the Smarch 1st. And then on
Smarch 1st.
And then on March 1st, we'll get paid for our Smarch 1st day.
So it's like an extra day's pay.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that. Can we start a petition to make a 13th month every 4 years instead of a day?
Every 4 years we have an extra month.
Yep.
That's 1 day long.
Yeah.
I think we can do that without a petition.
Well, I mean, we could just celebrate Leap Day as a month.
Yeah.
But I think to make it, all right, a compromise between my theory and my other theory, I guess, since we just came up with this on the fly, is the month of Smarch is mobile. So every year it changes what month it's in between. So it's a 12-year cycle.
Wow.
So January, Smarch, February, and then the following year, January, February, Smarch, March.
Oh my gosh.
I might actually write up a petition to submit to the
Change.org?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make it a thing.
Yeah, so keep an eye out on our Facebook group if that goes up.
Because we need your signatures.
We need signatures to make Smarch happen.
And I really suggest, occasionally we beg for feedback. Listen, dudes and dudettes, if you don't want to live in a world where there's a Smarch, you best say something, because otherwise I'm running with this.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know where to go from there.
We usually have an outline for our episodes of what we're going to talk about, and we came up with a quick one before I hit record, and I think we've forgotten where we're going now that we've hit Smarch.
Well, we're on the subject of destroying order in the world. Let's try and talk about something topical.
Yes.
The coronavirus.
I thought you were going to say ointment. Topical. Anyway. Coronavirus is becoming a complete, utter disaster of a disease.
The crazy thing is, and I could be proven wrong when we're all dead, I get the distinct impression it's really not a thing. There's a virus and people are getting sick and stuff.
Right.
But I don't think it's as big a concern as people are making it out to be.
No.
But yet, it's becoming a bigger and bigger thing. Like the CDC is warning us about disruption.
People are getting the flu probably, and they're treating it as if it's coronavirus.
Yep.
Just because everyone's so scared. And it seems to me a lot of the nervousness and fear, that's the word I'm looking for, that surrounds the coronavirus is almost rooted in some sense of maybe even like racism or xenophobia.
It's certainly a good excuse to exercise
right.
xenophobia.
And it just doesn't seem like it's as bad as everyone's making out it to be. And it's only being made out that way just so that certain people could be excluded, which is just messed up.
And I always have to preface this with saying, I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but at heart, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I feel like there's an excuse here to round people up and quarantine them. As it would happen, while we were in the process of putting our last episode together, or actually it'll be our next episode, I saw a little news article pop up on Google that the Massachusetts Department of Health saying that they've had over 600 people in quarantine. There's currently 237, but they had up to 600 people under a 14-day quarantine because either they were suspected to have coronavirus or did have it. And I didn't hear anything about that until now.
Yeah, and even at work, one of our bosses was talking about how when they were in Tucson, they were talking about how there's some conspiracy theory that the virus was just experimental in Canada and it got out to China in Wuhan. There was a factory or some lab there. Like, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist or promote any theories. This is just an awful infection, viral infection that's happening to thousands of people. But things are being said, and it could be any number of things that could be true or false.
And let's be honest, this is how any reputable zombie movie begins. The zombie outbreak, you're not going to hear news saying that there's zombies. It's going to be something vague like this.
The way that this entire pandemic, I'll call it, is being played out, reminds me of the game Plague Inc., where you basically you run a disease, you design how it infects people and such. And it's just like, it usually, and I'm not saying that these types of people are dirty or anything like that, but people that live in like India or China, there's just a lot of people there, so disease tends to spread a lot quicker there. So that if you started them in those places, it would spread quicker, and it just seems like it's a bad dream being played out right now from that game. So,
which leads me into a point that I want to make, and this is perhaps a controversial point of view. I've seen a lot of post-apocalyptic movies, and if this is a world-ending situation, I have to cough to clear my throat. If this is indeed a world-ending situation, like civilization is going to come to an end because of the coronavirus, I'd rather just die.
Yeah.
Because it does not look fun to live in that world. Like, have you ever watched The Walking Dead?
Oh, yeah.
That's a shit way to live. Who wants to live that way?
No.
Just put a bullet in my head. Mad Max, like driving around a souped-up car and wearing my hair assless chaps so that I could put gasoline in my car.
Oh, my God.
I don't want to live in that world.
No.
A world without Twinkies or chocolate.
Oh, no.
And not for nothing, and to take it to a more serious extent, because this is the thing that they never explore when you're watching a movie about a post-apocalyptic world. Medication. So I have a heart condition. I had a heart attack a few years ago. If I don't take that medication, my heart's going to kill me faster than it would otherwise. But I also have rheumatoid arthritis. And if I don't take my 2 different meds that I take to treat that, I would be in horrible agony all the time.
It's not worth it.
And being chased by zombies and wearing assless chaps while running away from mohawked dudes in souped-up cars. I don't want any part of it.
I really don't blame you.
I remember my wife got really upset with me a few years ago. It was shortly after Trump took office, when he was really ratcheting up the rhetoric with North Korea. There was that, I think it was in Hawaii, they accidentally sent out a broadcast that missiles were inbound on the emergency broadcasting system. And I was trying to impress upon her how terrifying that must be to think that nuclear strike is occurring. Yeah. And she's like, well, after an hour they figured out it wasn't, it was a false alarm or whatever. And I'm like,
you still have an hour where you didn't know what was happening.
And can I be totally honest here? Like, I would have shot my whole family. Like, nuclear bombs are going to fall on your city.
In context, that's not as bad as it could be. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so for the record, I would not actually shoot my family. But seriously, if you're in a scenario where it's like end of the world situation, nuclear bombs are going to drop on you, like double tap and get done. You're doing them a favor. And then to find out it was a false alarm, oops.
Yeah.
That's my 7 point.
Coronavirus.
We're either going to beat it or we're going to... Who?
So happy Leap Day, hopefully.
At the end. So let me say at an unofficial capacity, it's all going to be okay. We're going to get through this. It's all good.
Yeah.
So while we're on the subject of murder and mayhem and dark things, since this is a short episode and it's a bonus episode, I thought rather than reviewing a whole album, it might be fun to take a look at a single.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I had this song. I had to think for a second what I actually queued up for us to listen to. It's a song by an artist, Tim Rose, and it's called Long Time Man. So we'll play that real quick, share our thoughts. I'll stop banging on the table, and then we'll get on with it.
She was laying in a pool right there on the kitchen floor. She looked at me as she began to smile.
So I got kind of a Pearl Jam vibe from that. Specifically Jeremy.
Similar thematic
Yeah.
elements going on.
But I think the vocal style, like at home drawing pictures of mountaintops, if you think of that kind of beginning of the song,
Yeah.
and then like some of the way that he's singing, it's a similar theme. Oh my God. Oh, there's a refrigerator in here. It turned on. It scared the crap out of me.
Is your refrigerator running? You better catch it.
Oh my god, it scared the crap out of me. Whew. I don't know if the way that the concept matter, the similar concept matter, it plays a role in how the song was sung. But very interesting in that thing, and I really enjoyed the song.
I really like that line. So basically, he shot his wife.
Yeah.
In a moment of anger, the line, she lay there in a pool on the kitchen floor, looked up at me and smiled. I don't know, that just really grabs me. There's a lot of songs about men killing women, and usually over stupid reasons because they're men,
right?
And they can do it. But there's something about you take the profound regret that he's expressing for killing his wife, coupled with his major complaint being that he has no lips to kiss him anymore. Like, boo-hoo, you killed your wife.
Yeah.
Interesting side note. So Tim Rose recorded this song. I think it was in the 60s. Nick Cave of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds was a big fan, and he covered this song on one of his albums. Tim Rose at that time had descended into alcoholism and was nearly broke. Nick Cave managed to get some popularity back for him and actually took him out on the road and did shows, and he had a bit of a resurgence after that. So
that's
yay,
a really
Nick
cool
Cave.
story.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. So that's really all we have for this episode.
Yeah.
Our regular episode will drop Wednesday
Yeah.
at midnight as usual
Yeah, Wednesday, March 5th, you will hear our episode Sports.
by Modern Baseball.
Yes.
Well, the album is by Modern Baseball. The
Yeah.
episode is by us.
Yeah, so we hope you'll tune in then, and hopefully this didn't scare you away. You'll take a listen to Sports.
Check us out on our various social platforms.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook. We have a page and a group, both Esoterica the podcast,
We have an Instagram account.
which I didn't forget this time.
Yes, you didn't. I could just cut you off. Whatever you're listening to us on right now, obviously we're on there. Anchor, Spotify. I did it again.
iHeartRadio.
Breaker. We can just go all day, can't we?
Yeah, we're in a bunch of different platforms.
Yeah. If you go to Anchor, it'll tell you pretty much what we're on for the most part. But whatever you listen to podcasts on.
And we're on TuneIn now, so you should be able to find us on your smart speaker.
Yes, absolutely.
I have to test that first, so before I say find Esoterica the podcast, I got to make sure that actually works.
Yeah, see if Alexa knows what's up.
I call her computer.
So thank you again for tuning in to a bonus episode
A freewheeling ditty.
of Esoterica the podcast, and we will catch up with you on Wednesday.
See you next March.